Sophie Lane had built her coffee shop, The Daily Grind, from the ground up. Nestled in a cozy corner of downtown, her cafe was famous for its artisan brews and warm atmosphere. Her loyal customers were her pride and joy, and she prided herself on serving the best coffee in town. Across the street, a shiny new tea house steeped in success opened its doors. Its owner, Oliver Reed, was the CEO of a rapidly growing tea empire. The sleek modern design of his cafe and its bold advertising promised an elevated tea experience, drawing attention from the moment it opened. Sophie wasn't worried at first. Coffee lovers are loyal, she told her barista Ethan. But when foot traffic dwindled, Sophie realized the new competition wasn't just a fad, it was a threat. Oliver, charming and sharp, didn't expect resistance from the local businesses, let alone from Sophie. But when her customers started returning with glowing reviews of The Daily Grind, he took notice. One morning, Sophie stormed into steeped in success. "You can't just sweep in with your flashy signs and take over the neighborhood," she said, hands on her hips. Oliver raised an eyebrow, amused by her fiery attitude. "It's called business, Miss Lane. Competition keeps us sharp." "Or cutthroat," Sophie muttered before leaving. That evening, Oliver visited The Daily Grind. "I'll admit," he said after sipping one of her signature lattes, "your coffee's good, but tea's the future, and people are catching on." "Good luck convincing a city of coffee drinkers," Sophie retorted. Their rivalry became the talk of the town. Customers flocked to both cafes, eager to witness the brewing battle. The mayor soon proposed a cafe battle to settle the rivalry, a citywide event where both cafes would compete to create the most popular beverage. Sophie and Oliver reluctantly agreed, each determined to win. As they prepared, they kept running into each other at suppliers and events. Despite their competitive banter, they began to notice other sides of one another. Sophie saw Oliver's dedication to quality, sourcing his teas ethically, and supporting small farmers. Oliver, in turn, admired Sophie's genuine care for her customers and her passion for her craft. One late evening, while picking up supplies at the same warehouse, they got stuck waiting out a rainstorm. Over tea and coffee, each insisting their choice was better, they talked about their dreams. "I started this company to honor my grandmother," Oliver confessed. "She taught me the art of tea blending." "What about you?" Sophie smiled. "My parents used to own a diner. Coffee was what brought people together there. I guess I wanted to recreate that feeling." By the time the rain stopped, their animosity had softened, though neither would admit it. The day of the cafe battle arrived, and the city buzzed with excitement. Sophie showcased a rich caramel macchiato infused with a hint of cinnamon, while Oliver presented an innovative lavender Earl Grey latte. The competition was fierce, with long lines at both cafes. Sophie and Oliver occasionally glanced at each other across the street, their rivalry now tinged with mutual respect and something more. When the votes were tallied, it was declared a tie. The mayor suggested a partnership instead of a winner-take-all approach, but both Sophie and Oliver dismissed the idea. That night, they met at a neutral cafe to decompress. "A tie," Sophie said, shaking her head. "All that work, and we're back where we started." "Maybe not," Oliver replied. "We both got a lot of new customers, and we learned about each other." Sophie smirked. "Is this your way of saying you respect me now?" "Maybe," Oliver said, smiling. "Is it working?" Over the following weeks, Sophie and Oliver started visiting each other's cafes more often, exchanging tips and ideas. Their rivalry became playful, their banter filled with teasing and shared laughs. When Sophie introduced a new coffee blend inspired by floral notes from Oliver's tea, he couldn't help but be impressed. Oliver created a chai blend with a coffee-infused twist. Customers loved the collaborative creations, and their businesses thrived. After a successful day, Oliver walked Sophie home. "Our businesses might be rivals, but I don't think we have to be." Sophie glanced at him. "Are you saying we're friends now?" Oliver stopped and looked at her, his voice soft. "No, I'm saying I'd like to take you to dinner." Sophie laughed, her cheeks flushing. "Well, if you think you can handle a coffee drinker at a tea shop, I might say yes." Sophie and Oliver's relationship blossomed. Their cafes became known for their unique collaboration, offering special coffee-tea hybrids that brought in customers from all over. Though they still teased each other relentlessly about coffee versus tea, they both knew the truth. Together, they had created something far more special than a drink. As they stood outside their bustling businesses one evening, Sophie raised her coffee cup. "To competition," she said with a grin. Oliver raised his tea, and to finding common grounds. They clinked their cups, their laughter mingling with the aroma of coffee and tea, a love story steeped in flavor and brewed with care.